In the book, The Active Side of Infinity, by Carlos Castaneda, which is part of a series detailing Castaneda's apprenticeship with the shaman Don Juan reveals a secret referred to as the topics of topics. Ancient shamans discovered the existence of inorganic predators known as the flyers, visible only through their special sight as dark, large shadows that move through the air. Originating from the cosmos, these predators imprison humans by feeding off their energies, treating humans as their primary food source. When humans are born as infants, they possess a luminous ball of energy enveloping their entire body, covered by a glowing coat. This glowing coat of awareness, unique to humans, is consumed by the predators over time, leaving only a narrow fringe of awareness from the ground to the tops of the toes by adulthood. This remaining fringe allows mankind to barely survive. Exploiting this narrow fringe of awareness, they induce trivial problems to provoke flares of awareness, which they ruthlessly consume. By keeping humans entangled in pseudo-concerns, individuals who have the potential for profound insights and awareness are now merely reduced to sedated beings. The mechanism of control employed by the predators involves giving humans their mind, which becomes our own. Sorcerers believe that the predators shape our systems of beliefs, notions of good and evil, social norms, hopes, expectations, and dreams. They instill covetousness, greed, cowardice, complacency, routine, and egomania in humans. When asked how to confront these predators, Don Juan states that there is nothing one can do except discipline oneself to the point where the predators cannot touch us. This discipline involves facing unexpected odds with serenity, practicing inner silence, meditation, and detachment. This makes the glowing coat of awareness unappetizing to the flyers, allowing it to grow beyond the toes. Once that happens, the entire energy body is restored, bringing back tremendous perceptual abilities. Eventually, as the alien mind weakens, it retreats permanently, leaving humans to their own devices. Don Juan concludes by asserting that the flyers are integral to the universe, serving as relentless challengers that test humanity. Humans, as energetic probes with awareness, enable the universe to become aware of itself. Overcoming the flyers earns humanity the right to continue its evolutionary journey. These flyers, also known as the Archons in Gnosticism, are described in ancient texts such as those of the Sethian Gnostics and the writings of the Nag Hammadi library. In the beginning, a spiritual reality governed by the true God gave rise to a multitude of beings referred to as the Pleroma or Eons, among whom was Sophia, meaning wisdom. Deviating from the unified workings of the Eons, each paired with a masculine and feminine counterpart, creating together in unity, Sophia seeks to create on her own, outside of this harmony, and without her partner, disrupting the symmetry. This act of creation, born from a place of disharmony, results in the first Archon, the chief ruler known as Yaldabaoth or the Demiurge. Yaldabaoth, synonymous with the creator god in Christianity, declared himself the one true God, ignorant of the origin of his power. He manifests as a dragon with a lion's head, wielding significant power inherited from Sophia, his mother. Yaldabaoth harnesses this power to create realms for himself, as well as a host of malevolent beings, the Archons, numbering 365 symbolically corresponding to the days in a year, to help rule his kingdom. These Archons, bearing names like Oth with a sheep's face and Yabel with the face of flame and fire, lack the divine light present in the Eons. In other sources, Archons are said to be of two types. The first type is reptilian in nature, while the second type resembles a human embryo with a shape and appearance similar to that of sky fishes. Once the physical world was constructed, the Demiurge, in an act of extreme narcissism, decided to create a being in its own image, requiring the aid of the Archons. Thus, the Demiurge declared, "Let us make human beings in our image." The Archons, working in concert, proceeded to create the primordial human being, each contributing to specific anatomical features. Initially, they fashioned the psychical elements of the body, followed by the physical components. After the creation of the 365 elements of the psychical body, which include emotional states such as desires and fear, the higher spiritual reality took pity on the primordial atom and infused life into the psychical body by embedding within each individual a divine spark. Unbeknownst to the Archons, their collaborative effort resulted in the creation of a psychical atom endowed with powers surpassing those of each individual Archon. Realizing their error, the Archons combined earth, air, fire, and water to encapsulate the psychical body in a prison of matter, our physical bodies. Adam was then placed in the Garden of Eden, intended to intoxicate him with pleasure and obscure his awareness of his condition and power. Gnostics also believed that the most recent invasion of the Archons occurred around 3600 BC, approximately 1600 years before the Nag Hammadi texts were buried. Archons, or the force they represent, have been described in similar terms across cultures. Whether referred to as serpent gods, Anunnaki, demons, or jinn, they share characteristics that transcend cultural boundaries, highlighting a fundamental truth about the nature of this force. Depicted as multidimensional entities and psychic parasites, Archons are portrayed as rulers of the material realm, which we know as the false matrix. They are largely disconnected from the divine source and thus do not possess a soul. Consequently, they lack empathy, love, and creativity, and function solely on a logical basis, akin to artificial intelligence and machines. Unlike humans, who have the ability for self-direction, Archons are said to feel intense envy toward humanity because we possess the intentionality they lack. At a spiritual level, their primary aim is to ensnare souls, preventing them from transcending the material world, as described in the soul trap theory. This theory posits that Earth functions as a prison planet. Upon physical death, our soul or consciousness exits the body to journey through a spiritual highway beyond this realm. However, before reaching this destination, it encounters an artificial mechanism engineered by alien entities, a firmament dome over Earth intercepting departing souls. Deceased relatives often appear at this juncture, guiding souls toward a false light or tunnel that masks the true exit from this realm. Entering this false tunnel initiates a review of one's earthly life, culminating in a persuasive or deceptive push to reincarnate. The troubling aspect of this cycle is the gradual loss of soul essence, known as soul fragmentation, with each reincarnation. This loss eventually renders a soul unfit for further embodiment. The ultimate objective of these entities is to maintain humanity in a state of ignorance, hindering spiritual evolution and perpetuating suffering. These entities can possess human minds, turning individuals into psychopaths by manipulating and controlling them without their awareness, notably through influencing politicians and the elites who control the world. It's important to highlight that they are not what makes us act inhumanely, but by intruding subliminally upon the human mind, deviating our intelligence away from its proper and sane applications, they make us play out inhumane behavior to weird and violent extremes. Instances involving cults, satanic abuse, narcissistic abuse, and sexual abuse often have Archons involved, either controlling those perpetrating such acts or directly targeting the victims, as they feed mainly on fear and sexual energies. They are also adept at manipulating human perception through deception, creating illusions that distort reality. The Archon system aims to program and distort our perception, creating a warped version of reality that diverges from the natural order. This explains their power in using propaganda, media, and misinformation to shape beliefs. Their subtle influences can be seen in authoritarian structures and systems that deny authenticity and self-determination to the individual, as well as in the corruption of all human enterprises and institutions. In his new book, Wedico, The Greatest Epidemic Sickness Known to Humanity, psychologist Paul Levy calls infections of the Archons the Wedico virus. Wedico is described as a virulent psychic pathogen that infiltrates our minds with thought forms. When these thought forms are unconsciously enacted, they feed the virus, ultimately leading to the demise of its host, us. However, the virus operates slowly to allow the host to live long enough to spread it further. Once the parasite is deeply embedded within the psyche, the person's behavior is directed by the disease, becoming the dominant force. Similar to how someone infected with the rabies virus avoids drinking water, which would eliminate the infection, those taken over by the Wedico parasite reject anything that could help them rid themselves of the disease. In advanced stages, the person is so overtaken by the disease that they appear as merely an empty shell, wholly identified with their mask or persona. It's as if there is no one behind the mask, the disease operates through what seems to be a human being. Despite their otherworldly nature, I believe these Archons can manifest internally in physical forms, such as parasites like ropeworms and tapeworms, which are responsible for almost all types of illnesses, including cancer. These parasites create negative vibrational thought patterns through their presence in the body, and eliminating them can lead to purging and healing of these negative psychic patterns. This can be achieved spiritually through exorcism by shamans, as well as through appropriate anti-parasite medications and herbs. By individually removing these hidden negative controllers from our human species and from the planet as a whole, we can collectively evolve to a new state of consciousness and being.